What's up guys, BrunsNick's back, and these are the 7 things I can't live without when it comes to bowling. Before we get into the list, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please check out the merch on Inside Bowling. Really helps out, I appreciate all the support. Now getting into the first thing I can't live without when it comes to bowling is tape. Primarily white textured tape. I use it in my thumb, front and back, and I also use it in my Sarge ring finger. The texture that I get from it is so important, and also it helps when I have to change out, when I have to go higher, lower based on my swelling. You know, if I bowl a long form tournament where I'm bowling a lot of games one day, short break, bowl some more games, chances are I'm going to see some swelling. So I'm going to go in and out with tape throughout the day. Also, when you're bowling in different environments, if you ever bowled in the state of Nevada, for instance, for whatever reason, my thumb swells up like crazy when I get there, my lips chap, it's just dry desert air. So I swell and I need less tape. So it's important that I have a lot of tape in my ball so that I can account for that swelling when I go into different environments. Here in Michigan, I don't have to mess around with it very often because it's typically pretty cool and snowy during the winter. So I'm usually adding tape, not necessarily taking it out. But I use a lot of tape. I drill a round hole, tape in the front, tape in the back, shape it like an oval. Ring finger gets a lot of tape too, but tape, probably the #1 thing I can't live without when it comes to bowling. Going on to the #2 thing I can't live without, and you've probably seen in just about every video I've done, is I have my rosin bag and my rosin pouch. Now I kind of categorize these as 2 different levels of strength. The rosin bag has quite a bit more gripping powder to it, and this is more of a fine powder for drying your hand. So if you need more grip, I go with the rosin, so you'll see me adding it to my thumb, kind of tapping it on. And if I just want to keep my hand dry, I'm going for the rosin ball. Most likely in league, I'm not using a whole lot of this. I'm going to be using more of this just to keep my hand dry, be part of my pre-shot routine, but that's all. I mean, the grip sack, the rosin, I don't use Easy Slide, I don't use hand conditioner, it's always been rosin. My hands typically get a little bit sweaty, so I need something to dry them off, I need something to grip. It's all about grip pressure, bringing it down. Rosin's where it's at for me. That actually felt good. Bam. I don't need that piece of tape yet. Feeling good. Now the next item, going on that same thought process of having good grip, is the #3 thing that I just can't live without, and that is ultimate interchangeable thumbs. So not only having just one thumb that fits, but having backups, having multiple backups. Some people see it a little different. They'll drill different sizes and they'll switch out accordingly based on their swelling. I like to just have one ball that goes between all of them, and I'll make my adjustments on the fly. Always have a backup. You never know what can happen out there on the lanes, but always make sure you have one. That's your insurance policy. But ultimate interchangeable thumbs, another thing that I just can't bowl without. So the next thing on my list that I just can't bowl without, and you've seen these in all my videos as well, and I have a great assortment of them, Shammy Pads. So Shammy Pads are so great for getting the oil off your ball between shots. I am a big advocate of getting that oil off there every shot. It helps with the longevity of your bowling ball by taking the oil off the cover of the ball so the ball won't absorb it. Also, it makes each shot back-to-back more consistent because there are no foreign substances on your ball to help enhance your skid and maybe decrease your performance. That's better. It's a good idea to invest in a chamois pad because these are much better than any other towel out there as far as getting and absorbing all the oil off the ball and keeping it clean. I always recommend writing your initials on them because these things tend to grab some legs and walk right out the door. Good idea. I always have a few in my bag just in case that happens. So chamois pads, that's a one thing that I just can't bowl without. And keeping with surface maintenance theme, the next thing I just can't live without in bowling are Sia Air pads. I always have a full set of Sia Air pads in my bag. Surface is the most important and vital thing you can do to increase your scores. Being able to adapt and recognize when you need surface, how much surface, and how to do it. So what grit, how much to do it, and when to do it. Obviously, you can only do it during practice, but that's when you're supposed to realize what you're exactly needing. Now in league play, I don't typically do a whole lot of playing around with surfaces, but when you're going to tournaments and the pattern's unknown or you're just not comfortable in the center or whatever, always have a set of surface pads in order to create more opportunities for you to strike. If your ball's just not matching up, chances are you probably just need to hit it with some surface. Call it a day. You'd be amazed what a set of Sia Air pads will do for your game as they do for mine. I can't bowl without them. They're in my bag 100% of the time. One very important item that I can't live without is fresh finger inserts. For anybody that uses vacuum installed inserts, it is so important, even more important, to change your inserts more frequently in order to get that same feel. As you bowl with them, they stretch out and they don't feel as good. It could happen as few as 10 games, 15, 20 games, depending on how you bowl. But fresh finger inserts are probably one of the more important things in my bag for me to have the perfect fit, feel, and be able to throw the ball with consistency. And the last but certainly not least thing that I just can't bowl without is a good set of tools. At the very minimum, bevel knife, tape knife, tiny screwdriver, and a set of scissors. You never know when you're going to need to change tape, cut tape, maybe bevel out a little bit, just to allow you to release the ball a little easier. And also a good tape knife. In my case, I like to use a small flathead in order to make tape changes quick. Now I don't have any nails, so I use a tool to get my tape out, and that's pretty much it. But when you're in a tournament and you're in a rush to change tape, fiddling with it is only going to add stress to you. Better have the right tools for your game. For me, I pretty much just carry a bevel knife, tape knife, and a flathead, and of course, a nice set of scissors. You want something that can cut tape. And for you that like to use the skin tape or whatever, it's easier to trim with a good set of scissors. So a set of tools is just another insurance policy to make sure that I'm always prepared no matter what the situation is when I go out to bowl, and I just can't live without a good set of tools. So that's all for my list of 7 things that I just can't bowl without. I can't live without them. Did I miss something? Is there something that you can't live without? Let me know in the comments. What is something that you must absolutely have in your bag? Now I know the question's going to come up, well, what about extra slide soles? Well, I don't slide, so I do keep them in my bag, but it's not necessarily a big issue for me to have extra slide soles because I don't slide. I don't need to change that at all. So with that being said, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, learned a little something about what makes my bowling game tick and the accessories and things that I need in my bag in order to succeed on the lanes. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps out a lot. Talk to you guys soon in another video.